I guess that's why they had to bring the infected people. But that was like a plot point. I'm like, oh great, I've seen this before. I would have even liked if the Jean-Claude Seagal character, if he was in it, like throughout the whole time. Like none of these characters have an arc. Believe it or not, this film, these characters sort of they change. They go from a guy who's a complete asshole to he's going to try to be decent. A guy who thinks he's useless in his wheelchair, he helps out. A girl who's sort of quiet and does this, but he sort of gets the strength because her kid was killed and he sort of fights back. Here's kind of like the one note. Clu Gulager, I'm glad he's in these films, but either really building him up to be like a big, hero or whatever. I mean, it kind of like doesn't amount to much shit. And I don't think it's funny. The gore is decent. I mean, granted, in the part 2, part 3, you see some decent things like, okay, the girl who we don't like, she gets her head eaten and shit out. The guy who gets raped and this monster comes out, okay. A guy kicking monsters with no arms, okay, but I saw that in Dead Alive in a way. Although not quite, but the guy who I kick ass for the Lord, he didn't really beat up with no arms, but at the same time, it didn't impress me. Oh, okay, and for some reason it reminds me of it's just a flesh wound from Monty Python, but it's like, okay, I saw that. So it's not as clever as the writers think they are, I guess is the way to put it. And what kills me though is I wouldn't probably be as pissed. I'd be okay at this part. I'm so pissed though, is the ending is the biggest load of crock I've ever seen. And I know it's like you're not supposed to take it seriously, but it's like, it just makes me say, these people, they don't take these films seriously. And I know you're not supposed to, but at the same time it's like, the first film at least attempts to tell as slim as a story. It's still a story with a forward momentum. Here it's like part 2, part 3, you've been floundering around, and how do you end it? Your happy finish. Your survivors, the biker queen, basically, she don't put the monsters, she don't go away, so the monsters follow them. Clu Gulager, the girl, and the other little person, I think it was Lightning. Him and the girl get stomped by a fucking transformer. Yes, a transformer smashes those two. A fucking transformer. Michael Keane, if he sees the review, you should see this movie. Because, okay, it's really a giant robot. It might as well be a fucking transformer. Because Michael Keane, I'm sure that when he saw this movie, he never would have thought that you'd have transformers in the fucking movie. And I'm like, really? You don't have a giant fucking robot? It's like if I'm watching, I don't know, if I watch Saw 3D and at the end Superman comes, takes the bad guy and throws him into the sun, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's not clever. That's stupid. That means a 5-year-old could have written these sequels. A 5-year-old. Like, I think this was actually talented writers who did this. It was clever. It kept me off guard, but not in a clever way, not in a smart way. It's in a dumb way. Oh, you know what? Let's just throw. It's like, hey, we get a bunch of notes, we put them in a ball, put them in a bucket, we throw up. Whatever lands in this little circle, we just take those ideas and then just. What do we do in ending? Let's see. How about we have aliens, predators, Transformers, Terminators, Ninja Turtles. What will we have at the ending? Put them in a bowl. Oh, Transformers. Or Terminators, if you kind of like those big fuckers in Terminator Salvation. Oh, a giant robot. Okay, let's throw that in there. Then you have some guy, mariachi, singing about the series. And I'm like... And then basically Clu Gulager sort of walks around, is still hurt. He's like, God damn it. Because even before that, he's like, he looks at a girl, he's like, we're the only people, we gotta repopulate the earth. And then that's when the girl and the little Mexican wrestler get stomped. And I'm like, this is stupidity. This is not funny. It's not entertaining. It's stupid. What I like about this movie is not only do you have the gross out, not only do you have the gore, but it has 3 important things. 1, it doesn't look cheap. The sequels look cheap. This doesn't look cheap. Maybe because it's the film stock? I don't know. 2, the script is clever. The scripts in the others are not clever. And by the 3rd, you can predict, oh, okay, this guy's going to die. You know what's going to happen because you know it's not going to be what you think. You know at the beginning of this Feast 3 that Honey Pie Girl, you know she's going to die. She's not going to walk away. She's going to die. Boom. You know it. It's just you know going into it. Like, okay, you don't try to pull fast ones every single time, thus negating yourself and becoming predictable in that amount. And it doesn't have a forward momentum. It's like sequels that they don't even know, they're not going anywhere. They're just, dumb, fucking whatever. So, like the second one, there were no likable characters. Clu Gulager, it was nice to see him in. He was the bartender from the first film, but he really doesn't have much to do in these sequels at all. Kind of interesting character, Jean-Claude Seagal, but again, not much. All the other characters, they really don't amount to much. Granted, it was kind of neat to see the Rambo 3 line reference. The black guy getting raped by a monster who's outside a storage shed, humping the storage shed, and he's getting raped in birth. Okay. At the beginning, the girl getting her head eaten and shit out. Okay. But is that going to save a movie that's become predictable? It's not as clever as the first one at all. It's tired. You bring in infected people from the puke, all great infection. Okay, 20 days later, mixed with the Crazies. I know which was, but I'm talking about George Romero's The Crazies, which I know was a remake. But it's just, don't give a shit about anybody. The film was cheap, and you have an ending that is just the epitome of stupidity. Oh, a robot. Out of the blue, a robot squishes some people, and that's it. That's the end of the Feast series. All this talk about Feast 4, whatever. You know what? I like the first one. Fuck Feast 4. And fuck Feast 2 and Feast 3. Feast 3, you lied to me. I don't have a happy finish. See? My dick's limp because of you. Feast 3. A great movie that turned the shitty sequels. But, okay, if Michael Caine, if he sees his review, because I know he likes Transformers, if you want to see a Transformer, basically it is, watch the sequels. It's in part 3 at the end, but watch 2 and 3 if you find them for cheap at he probably won't see this because I just spoiled the whole movie. He's like, well, fucking shit, fuck that. Well, that's how it goes, but anyway, I spoiled the shit out of it because I don't think people should see it. Even though Michael Caine, if he does see it, I would love to hear other people's reviews. I know a lot of people like these sequels, but I'm not changing my mind. I don't like them. So Feast 3 sucks. Plain simple. Well, thank you.